Okay, cool. Once we
Okay.
put it on, there's no going back.
Okay, bye-bye blonde.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's video. We are in a new place. In fact, this is a friend's salon. She has a salon about 5 minutes away from where I live. And I learned about her from a bunch of the women who I work with at Merritt Street. They would come and see her. And she is just an incredible woman. She's a young salon owner. And she is known for hand-tied extensions. And you're like, okay, what does all of this and Dominique have to do with, anything? I have had relatively short hair most of my adult life. For 30 years I've been in television, and I've just always preferred it on the shorter side while I worked in TV news. Now that I'm no longer in TV news, I just have a yearning for longer hair. But as you well know, since you've been following my journey, growing my hair is tricky because I have dry, curly, frizzy hair, and so it requires a lot of heat to smooth it out. I've been going blonder, which, as you know, bleach with heat isn't always a good combo, and it doesn't necessarily lead to growing out. She suggested that it would be wise to go darker, and she said, maybe try some hand-tied extensions, and that way your hair is sort of hiding in the extensions. You get the instant length that you're looking for. You're not watching that grow out process, because that's where I get frustrated, those weird mid-lengths, and I'm like, whack, I can't do it anymore. So I am taking her up on her idea, and I am thrilled to support a local business and a young woman who is launching and does such a great job here at Texas Blonde Society. So off we go. Everybody, meet Lindsay Hann.
Hi.
Lindsay Hann, everybody. Really excited to just bring you onto this platform. I was telling everybody, I didn't want to share, but I just love supporting young women business owners. And, this is your baby. You have just poured your heart, soul, sweat, blood, tears, everything into this salon. You're so good at what you do. And I'm grateful that I met you through people that I used to work with. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for supporting us.
Absolutely.
It means the world to us.
Well, thanks, Lindsay. So I was telling everybody a little bit of the plan that I, really, really long for longish hair. And I struggle getting there just with my hair and type and all of that. And so you came up with a game plan. Let's talk about what it is.
Okay, so today we are going to be doing a full color transformation. She's completely changing it up on us today, so we're really excited.
Yes, me too.
And we're going to be bringing in 2 different methods of extensions to give her some length and maintain her volume.
So the hair has already been ordered. What's interesting, so you want to show everybody the hair?
Absolutely.
She sent me a photo of it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so lovely. But the amazing thing too, and it's like buttery silk. If I had hair that felt like this, I'd give anything. They come in like this, but you can also color extensions, right?
Yes, so you can
Okay.
color them darker and you can tone them down, but you cannot make them brighter.
Okay.
So we chose a color that had a highlight pre-existing in
Yes.
this, because as we transform your color down,
Right.
the color will naturally want to fade out of your pre-existing highlights. So choosing an option that we can color down just like we are your hair will give the same fadage effect, which will make everything look more believable and last you longer.
Yeah, great. And it's I don't know what you would call this. It's like what, kind of a brownish with a little bit of a honey blonde in.
Yes, so this is a lived in brunette series. So it's going to have a natural root applied to it. It's going to have highlights and lowlights.
Right.
And it kind of gives off, if you were to have like a balayage with a little bit of dimension, you could maintain that with this one weft.
Right. Now, and what's interesting is that I showed you some photos of much richer, warmer colors, right? So we're able to bring that into the hair.
So we chose a color that will be able to accept that warmth. And I chose a root color for this that matches closer to your root color.
Yeah.
So you're naturally close to this, like, I would say medium to dark brunette.
Yes.
So this having a medium to dark brunette tone to it already will help it. If it exposes for any reason, it looks seamless and blends into your natural.
Great.
This is a brand called Covet in Maine. Covet in Maine is known for the quality of hair.
Okay.
So we've been using them for a few years now and are completely obsessed. And the longevity with this hair, this will last you 8 months to a year.
Wow. Seriously.
So this method is done with no tape, no glue, no adhesive. It's all done with little ponytails with beads.
Right.
And then we go through with a needle and thread and sew to those ponytails. Now your hair does grow, so you will have to get them moved up, but the actual hair itself will be able to be reused over and over again.
Awesome. That's so exciting. It's so funny because I think when people see this, they have an idea as to where we're going, but they really don't have an idea.
You guys have no clue.
No clue. Anyway, stay tuned. We're going to start the process. We're going to be here for a very long time. I brought 2 salads, a protein bar, and she's got me loaded with coffee and water. So off we go.
I am so excited.
I am beyond excited. I think a lot of my viewers will be ecstatic when they see the color choice. We're doing a hook back into time.
There better not be any haters.
Girl, do you know social media? That's it. We're done. We're cooked.
So is your husband excited? For the change?
He has an idea, but yet doesn't have an idea. I mean, he knows. No. No, he knows. He knows. I don't think he fully knows the color and the dimensions. He has an idea. I did show him one photo as inspo. So I can't say, he's going into this blind. But the funny thing is, he's out of town this weekend. He's in LA for work. So when he comes back, he's going to have a new wife.
He is.
Yes.
And for those that don't know her husband, y'all, this man loves her so much. We got the pleasure of meeting him here, and he could not stop talking about you. It was so sweet.
I love him beyond. Isn't he the best? He is
the best.
just the kindest.
He's so kind.
So loving.
You've got just the thickest hair, girl.
Seriously, I don't feel like I do.
You actually would do it so dense.
Huh. Maybe all the stuff I'm doing, with just different products and supplements and whatnot, maybe it's helping.
What are you doing?
I've been doing Nutrafol for a while.
I love Nutrafol.
Yes, and that has helped tremendously. I've recently started taking oral minoxidil.
Okay, so that's kind of new on the market. And I have been learning so much about minoxidil.
Yep.
And there's a hair loss doctor that popped in here, and he and I sat down and had like an hour conversation, and I have been blown away at what this product can do for people.
I mean, and granted, I know that lifting it as high as I have with the blonde has not been helpful. So as much as I've enjoyed it, but I know it's going to get even thicker and healthier going darker.
You are going to be so amazed at what your hair can do.
Really?
With giving it this little break.
Yeah. So how long have you had Texas Blonde Society? Tell us your story.
Okay, so I've been doing hair for about 22 years. And for the last 3.5 years, truly it was after COVID, I went on my own and I blew up. And I got to the point where I needed a little bit of help. So I started bringing on associates and training a young hairstylist. And after about 6-8 months, they were ready to start doing hair on their own. And I wanted to support them, and I had more clients than I could service. So I got another room, put an employee in there, and filled up her books and got her where she needed to be. And it got me a new assistant. And then once we got to the point where I had 4 rooms and 7 employees, I could justify turning this into a much bigger picture. I love helping. I love supporting and growing young hairdressers.
Yes.
They're so amazing and talented, and there's so much that I learn from them as well. So I love doing it. So I started this adventure. I saved a lot of money and opened up this 3,000 square foot location, and we've been open only 10 months.
You're in your infancy.
I know.
And I know, and you saved everything to make this happen.
I did. I had to be very strategic. So it's been a very rewarding experience. I credit a lot of this to my faith and taking bold chances and trying something for the greater good.
Yes. Yes. Which is why I adore you. So what level did you say was the root color again?
So this is Matrix So Color Sync. It pulls a little darker, so it's not quite true to tone. But this is a 6 and a drop of 4.
Yeah, that's good. I was going to say probably a 6 and a 5
Yes,
for my
so
root color.
this
It'll
will-
make a 5, I
This
guess.
will make like a, honestly, and this is probably so technical of me. This is how my brain works.
Yeah.
This will make like a 4.8 to a 5.2.
But
It's not
love
really
that
a
about you.
5.
Yeah. So you like matrix color. Why is that?
I do like Matrix hair color. I think So Color Sync is what we're using, which is technically a demi hair color. I think a lot of guests will get confused thinking it's not going to last as long because of the word demi, and that's not the case at all. It's about how it sits in the cuticle, but this is going to sit in the shiniest portion of your cuticle possible. And Matrix So Color Sync is one of the most reflective colors. And especially when you do anything with any type of warmth in it, Matrix is going to really offer that beautiful shine that you can already see in that reflection in the color. And this has got easier lifting powers. So in the future, if you decide that you do want to go lighter again, it's still always going to be a challenge, but it's not nearly as difficult if we were to use a color that went deeper into the cuticle, like a permanent or like a box or anything like that.
Lord knows we've experimented with those.
And we'll know. We will see it.
I know.
Absolutely. Low light some of these, and then I'm going to leave the rest for the toner formula that is going on your blonde.
So it won't be this blonde. It'll be a toned version to better match the hair color.
Yes. So I'm going to split up some of these. Thinking about what size the tape's going to be, where it's going to line up.
You're doing the sewn in, but you also have to do a few tapes around the face. Why is that?
Yes, because of the length of your hair, you're going to need a hybrid of methods
Okay.
to completely conceal your short hair.
Right.
And tapes are easier for layering. So we're going to do tapes in around the face, on the top, and underneath.
Right.
And then once your hair gets long enough and we don't need it anymore, we'll stick with just the sewn-ins.
Got it.
My plan was to do 2 rows of the sewn in, but I have the availability. It depends on how thick I feel like your hair, if it needs a 3rd row, I have enough hair left over to be able to add like a mini row.
Wow. That's a lot of hair.
I know. People always ask me if I knew how to stitch before I started doing extensions.
Yeah.
And the answer was no. This was a huge learning curve as an artist
I bet.
and took me several years to master.
Did it really?
Yes, and 3 different methods to decide what I liked for behind the chair.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize there were 3 different methods to do this.
Oh, there's so many. There's
Really?
way more than 3, yes.
How do you
but I-
decide what's the best one or
Well,
the right one?
I started with the cheapest class I could find.
Right.
And that was about $3,000. Took that class, got certified. It was through a brand called Glam Seamless, and they gave me a good foundational method.
Right.
And I loved it. And then I was ready to start learning other brands, so I started exploring out there. Some of the top methods that are out there is IBE. That
Okay.
stands for Invisible Beaded Row. That's an incredible method. NBR, and they're like the Orbe of the methods. They're
Okay.
definitely up there, one of the strongest. leaders on the hand tied market for sure.
I'm watching her technique and it's fascinating. So she calls it the wraparound. Does everybody do this, or is this just the Lindsay?
This is a Lindsay thing.
Okay.
I get tired of that string getting caught on everything else. So I learned if I wrap it around my head the way that I do, it keeps it from getting tangled.
Wow, girl. That's
that
quite
little
the technique.
The little wraparound.
Ta-da!
Yay. Wow. Okay, you'll want to keep your hands underneath.
Because it's going to get wild.
It's going to get hairy.
Okay.
Now, you changed it up on us and decided we want to keep as much length as we possibly
Well,
can.
I mean, I don't. It's because I'm looking at this and this is so
You're so
dreamy and
excited.
mermaidy,
I
you know. But it's obviously not practical or realistic. So
Okay.
we'll work our way up. How's that?
That sounds good.
Okay. And it also has to match the rest of my hair.
Yes.
I mean, I've got
and that's where all the layering.
Yes. Are there any different techniques that you use in cutting extensions versus real hair?
This is more of a feathering cut technique. You don't want to do blunt.
Yep.
So there's a lot of texturizing, a lot of thinning in order to give that layered technique versus picking up in a precise cut.
Yeah.
That's not with extensions.
Right.
It is so crazy seeing yourself in a whole nother.
A different person.
Oh my God.
It's wild.
I know.
But this, I mean, I was pretty similar to this color, you know, when I started YouTube, honestly.
Yeah.
Not that far off. I'd say this is a little bit more maybe copper than I was, but I mean, I was auburn. I love it.
I'm so
I
excited.
really, really, really love the color. So you've cut it, but then you curl, and then you may cut again, depending on how it's looking, right?
Yes, having that bend come back in the hair kind of shows me where we might still need a little bit, even just that one side versus this side that's still straight.
Yeah.
Looks better.
Right. Pocahontas.
Versus that was super straight.
Exactly.
But sometimes we need that to kind of start the cut.
Yeah.
Please tell me you have a hot date tonight.
Fix in LA.
No!
I know.
You need a girlfriend.
I do.
You need a dinner date.
I do. It's kind of tragic. Me and Netflix.
And for those that will wonder, this is the T3 2.5-inch curling iron barrel.
Okay.
So this will give that nice loose curl. And this is the interchangeable, so you
that's
can
good.
use a tighter one.
Yeah. You know, I think if anything, Lindsay, I mean, granted, this was for me to get me long so that I could grow my hair in and, you know, not lose my mind and my patience with it. But I think it also shows just what's available to women now with their hair, whether it's, you know, thin hair or they just want a little bit of fullness or they want a full-on makeover. I mean, you can pretty much do anything these days. I mean, this has clearly proven it.
Yes, extensions are a tool.
Yeah.
And there's so many different methods in our back pockets. And finding a stylist that's excited and passionate about your change and wants to support you in it, it's just going to make you feel more confident. And again, it's there as a tool.
And I think it's worth noting too, you and I have been collaborating and planning for this for a while. I mean, it kind of started with initial photos that I sent you and, you know, it was like, is this possible? What's it going to take? You know, we talked about color, concept, hair that needed to be ordered. I mean, it was a definite process.
It is. And then we even talked about what to think about if you decide you don't like it.
Right.
And what that process looks like going back blonde. And I think when you're deciding to make a color change, you're thinking about the future and what you want your hair goals to be. With extensions, anything is possible. You can get blonder, you can get fuller, you can get longer. You've got all those options on the table.
Right.
And I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
Now, do's and don'ts with hair extensions.
Yes.
Going to bed with a silk bonnet or a silk pillowcase. And then we say doing some form of a braid or bubble braids, which is ponytail, ponytail, ponytail.
Okay.
So that's going to be your sleep routine. Don't go to bed with wet hair, but if you absolutely have to, braid it.
It's not going to happen.
Yes. Everybody says that.
It's a non
But
sequitur.
if there is a time.
Never.
just
There will
braid it.
never be a time. Trust me.
Brushing is going to be super important too.
Yeah.
You have to brush your hair every single day.
The reasoning for that is so that it doesn't get matted?
Tangles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your hair will want to get tangled up into everything. Windy things are a danger to your extensions as well. So if you're on a cruise and it's super windy, if you're on a boat, anything like that, you want to braid it or put it in those.
How about a ball cap? Does that help?
Ball cap is fine, but not a super tight one.
Got it.
So any tennis players out there that wear really tight visors, you'll just want to make sure you loosen things up.
Okay.
I'd say the one sport that is not extension friendly is any type of tight helmet. So my horseback rider girlies, we need to make sure we put your extensions really low.
Got it.
So they're away from where you would put your helmet.
Okay.
Summertime dries out hair extensions because of pools and vacations and all those stuff. So I recommend that you really up your moisture on your products at home and that you're using stuff that's going to soften and shine your extensions. Lots of oils, stuff like serums to make your hair feel soft and shiny. Keep it all healthy.
Got it.
Other than that, it's just brushing, going to bed. Don't go to bed with wet hair.
Braid it.
Braid it.
Wear the silk cap.
It's not too hard.
Okay. I'll be Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, what's that?
What did she do? What did she do?
Just go with it.
That's it. Do
Okay, we'll do that. Wow.
I can't wait for your husband.
He's gonna die. He's gonna die. Whoa. Okay, so now my goal is to grow my own hair this length. I'm still gonna need help because it will never be this full and this healthy looking, but
Yes, we will get you there.
you will get me there.
You're doing all the right things.
Well, I'm trying. Thank you. Love your hair. I don't know what.
I got you.
I don't know what to do. What do I do? First of all, I have to say how amazed I am at how well you blended the color of my own hair and the color with this. I mean, it's absolutely seamless. I don't feel like I'm the same person.
No, you look like a completely different person.
Great. Let's start off 2025 with a bang.
Yeah.
So what do I do? Just tell me how I run my, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah, so you'll want to avoid like trying to put your hands all the way through, but what you'll want to do is kind of fluff our ends. The hardest part is the little short hairs for your hair.
Yes.
So we'll want to just make sure that we're brushing often.
Okay.
And then adding volume in on our ends. And then you get this gorgeous, beautiful silhouette with all this length, all this beautifulness. And when we spin around, a lot of us naturally want to pull our hair forward.
Right.
And then you'll just want to add volume.
And just sort of separate it.
And just separate it and shake it open.
Okay. Voila.
Yay!
Thank you, Lindsay.
Oh my gosh, it was a pleasure.
Oh,
And thank you so
awesome.
much for trusting us with your hair.
Well.
This was such a fun project, and I know you were with us all day today.
Yes, but it was a joyful day.
It was a
I brought
joyful
protein
day.
bars, salads, and now I'm going to go home and take a nap. So, as you
love you
should
so
too. Love you too, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, you're so
Killed it.
welcome.
What a talent, right? What a talent.
Enjoy, guys.